Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. You know what to do. Hit that like button. Make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. We're rolling to Sierra Leone. April 22nd through May 2nd. Citizenship is back on. Again, citizenship is back on in Sierra Leone. They've made a couple changes. Change number one, you got to come twice and you have to wait a year. So when you come in April, you won't get your passport the following April. If you come in December, you won't get your passport the following December. So that's those are the new rules, but they are accepting more test providers. What do I mean? They are accepting more test providers. So not only are they accepting African ancestry, they're also accepting ancestry.com, 23andMe, which unfortunately just went bankrupt, I believe, a couple of days ago, and another company called CRI. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. We are also rolling to Nigeria in August. Senegal in May for the Jazz Festival, Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival, Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue. Then we are going to Namibia and South Africa in November and back to Sierra Leone in December. So, yeah, if you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. That's DANFO.Africa. Guys, give me 20 seconds. I received the package in the mail and I want to open it up live while we're here streaming. Give me 25 seconds. In fact, hold on, I'm gonna have my son bring it up. Give me a second. All right, I'm back. I am back. So let me open this up, guys. And this is pretty cool. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. So these are like uncirculated. This is uncirculated currency, U.S. currency with famous black leaders on it, on the actual currency. Famous black figures that are on the actual currency. It's called numismatics Noir. In fact, let me. Hold on, can you guys see that? Numismatics Noir. Right? And so discover the untold stories behind U.S. coins that honor black leaders, pioneers, and historical moments. Numismatics Noir brings together an exclusive collection of commemorative and circulating currency minted from 1946 to 2025, showcasing the resilience, achievements, and contributions of Black Americans. Each card in this deck highlights a piece of history, preserving a legacy that deserves to be remembered and celebrated. So let's open it up. And I'll put this site in the chat room. And this is from Numismatics Noir. So you guys can go support and buy. So we're opening this up. So this is Josephine Baker. Let's see who we got. Ida B. Wells. Let's see who else we have. George W. Carver. Just to name a few. So I will put the link in the chat room where you guys could go and cop your box. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing this? What's today? Guys, what's today, y'all? Today's Saturday. So guys, here's the link. It's calibratedlens.com. I'll put the link in the chat room. And you guys can go to the site. Well, guys, the link's in the site. Click on the link, and you guys will have the pricing of each deck on the site. So links in the chat room. I'm put it up here on the screen. Go and check them out. So let's jump into today's topic. Are foundational Black Americans now claiming to be Native Americans? Yeah, I'm starting to see this trend. I am starting to see this trend where now, you know, the FBA, foundational Black Americans, now they claim to be the Native Americans. They're claiming to be the indigenous Americans. You know, we went from our bones is buried here in America. We fought in every single war. We was on a plantation to now we are Native Americans and indigenous to this land. Hold on, AJ. Hold on. It's coming in. All right. It's starting to fill in. Like I said, this experiment is going to be for a year. So till October, I will be growing the beard. Okay. Till October. Till October, I'll be growing the beard. And if it don't work out by October, then I'm just going to give it up. And again, if it don't work out by October, I'm just going to give it up. We are American Indians, not Native Americans. It's two separate groups. Oh boy, man. Yeah, I got to break this down. So, all right, so I'm confused. So now you're Native Americans? So you went from foundational Black Americans to now we also Native Americans. Help me out. Somebody help me out. So you guys aren't African no more? So is foundational Black Americans is the Native Indigenous Americans? I'm so confused now. Like somebody they Choctaw, the Cherokee, they the Chickasaw now. Right. So y'all foundational Black Asians in America? So you guys are now the foundational Black Indian Americans? Like what is it? But remember the DNA test is fake. Remember that's what they said. They said the DNA tests are fakes. They convinced that we were Africans so they could take the land. They didn't. Yeah, they took the land all right. They came in with their guns and took the land. Yeah. I don't think that had anything to do with being African or not. Like they was coming to take the land regardless. They came in and they colonized. But yeah, I need help. In fact, let me pull up this video real quick. Give me a second. I'm gonna share it. I gotta email it to myself, but I want to pull this up because I'm all the way lost now. You know, I thought the claim was you guys were I thought the claim was you guys were foundational Black Americans and slave trade and slavery, and you've been so then this saying you're Native Americans goes against your guys' argument now, because the argument was you guys have been here for 400 plus years since the founding of the country, but in essence you guys have been here um thousands of years now. Is that the argument? That the new argument now? So it wasn't just 400 years; it's now thousands of years. Am I right? I mean, help me out. Hold on, let me email this to myself real quick. And I want to play this video, and maybe the FBA, we the Indians, you guys will call in and and give me clarity. Help me out. Here we go. Here we go. And then we're gonna do a show on this other topic is Donald Trump. How has he been having? How has he been helping? Has he been a net positive for FBA? So we'll do that show next. But let me pull this up. Here we go.
We have a different government party, right? This party isn't like the last party. Y'all do know that this party is for the Black Americans and against immigrants, right? Y'all do know that this party understands that the Black American is the indigenous of this country. This is the indigenous of this country. Understands that the Black American is the indigenous of this country. Understands that the Black American is the indigenous of this country, right? Y'all do know that this party understands that the Black American is the indigenous of this country, right? Those were the people that treated us wrong and treated y'all good. Now guess who's in office? The people that's treating us good and gonna treat y'all bad. That's why he's sending y'all home. That's why he's letting y'all know y'all not citizens by birthright. He's letting people know that the only birthright citizenship is for Black Americans. 14th and 15th Amendment is only for the descendants of slaves. So the slaves that were here were actually the prisoners of war that were already here in America. So Trump is basically telling you guys, America. So Trump that were here were actually the prisoners of war that were already here in America. So Trump is basically telling you guys, war that were already that were here. The 14th and 15th Amendment is only for the descendants of slaves. So the slaves that were here were actually the prisoners of war that were already here in America. So Trump is basically telling you guys that the Black Americans are the indigenous of America. He said the Native Americans don't look like the Indians. Y'all ain't even peeping game. Indians, indigenous of America. He said the Native Americans don't look like the Indians. Y'all ain't even peeping game. Trump is for the Black Americans and against anybody that's not a citizen. Because he's for the American citizen. He understands that we are the true Americans. So he's for everybody that is true Americans, and he's against any immigrant. Y'all need to know that TikTok is being watched by the government. That's why y'all don't like him, because y'all watch that news that they put out all this bull crap about him and make y'all think he's racist. As the president, he stands up and say the 14th and 15th Amendment was only supposed to be for the descendants of slaves and not for immigrants. Tell me a racist president that would have said that. Want me to tell you a racist president that would have said that? All the rest of the presidents that didn't say it.
So links in the chat room. My ADO, my FBA family, who are now the Native Americans, indigenous. Call in. Give me a breakdown. Like I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand. I have an open mind. You know, somebody help me. Somebody help me out. Links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Okay, there goes Ditso. Go ahead, Ditso.
Because I got my ventilators up. It's kind of warm over here. 1 second.
Okay.
All right, I guess that's just a bit better.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would love to hear the same thing from any so-called FBA. Because that last video you played, xenophobia all the way around.
Mhm.
Plus his points in regards to the 14th and 15th Amendment were wrong. Because sure, we can have the discussion about the origin of those two amendments as such, but then you have cases in regards of citizenship, which the Supreme Court has historically stated citizenship is for anybody born within the United States. And I can bring up those cases. You know me, I can have my base in that. But again, you know, in this whole discussion about delineation, I mean, seriously, it's just becoming obnoxious at this point.
Okay. Guys, links links in the chat room. If you guys want to call in, you're more than welcome to click on a link and call in and add to the conversation, and you know, break down how now the FBA is the Aboriginal American. You know, like I like to know. You know, if you don't want to call in, that's fine. But okay, we got Debo coming in. Go ahead, Debo. Go ahead, Debo.
What's good? So you have those records of the slave schedule or of the slave ships, right? On your last live, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you traced them to the slave schedules and the census records? You should be able to do that. They all come from the Historical Society. They come from the same place.
I haven't gotten that far. I just posted the ship logs and all that, but I
Okay.
haven't. Yeah, but go ahead.
I have.
Mhm.
I've gotten that far.
Okay.
So what we're saying is when you line those records up, so say you take the 1860 slave schedule,
Mhm.
you'll notice that there's no names for the slaves, but they are ages. So say for instance, John is on the slave schedule
Okay.
and John is the husband. John's wife, her age will be shown. John's kids, their age will be shown. They're listed as slaves. However, they're not. When you go to the census records, it'll show John's wife's name, where her parents was born, and kids' names, and at the top of the paper it'll say free inhabitant. So it contradicts the record, the whole slave records, and they all link back to black people, to Indian reservations where the Indians lived in the South. For instance, my family's from Natchez, Mississippi. Natchez, Mississippi. Well, how many Indian mounds is there? If you're talking about proof and facts, look at the areas that they were in. Indian mounds are in the areas that we lived in.
Okay.
One thing we know as black people, we all migrated from the South. We'll read the Indian Removal Act, but read it in its entirety. Read it in its entirety. And then one more thing. I want everybody.
So what are you saying that what are you saying about the ship logs? What are you saying?
The ship logs connect to the census records and they connect to the slave schedules.
Okay. So you're saying that the Africans
hold on.
So you say, I'm asking a question. So you're saying that you believe that slavery happened and that slaves are on the majority are that black the black America today is a product of the slave trade.
No, this is not. Let's clear something up. This is not what I said. This is what the federal government said. I'm just the dude that's repeating what I read.
Okay, so what did the federal government say?
So when you look at them on the census records where it says they're free inhabitants, they have a name, you can see where they lived and everything. So those records that you're reading, those
Yeah,
like
well,
the Clotilda,
there were free slaves, correct?
were there free? Okay, have you read the slave schedules in their entirety? Because I have.
I haven't, but there were freed slaves. Yeah, I mean, of
Okay,
course. Yeah.
they were all marked free. I'm telling you this. Listen to what I'm telling you. I have read them. They are all black people are marked free.
Yeah, because we're free.
So there's
Yeah, we're
bondage
free.
records. Follow what I'm saying. There's bondage records. They're showing them as slaves, but then when you
Okay.
get to the census records from the same time period, same area, done at the same time, well, they're marked free on there. When you look at the land, say Natchez, Mississippi,
Where were they marked free?
on the census schedule
I said when.
at the same time. So let's say
What year? When?
you can go back on ancestry.com and you can get the records from 1860 from current today to on back.
Debo, do this. Post the records. Put it in the private chat. Put the link in.
We already did that and we tagged you in them. You know what I'm talking about? Go click the video. Already done.
When were they
Native
free?
Americans wasn't here. You cannot find me one shred of, not one piece of physical evidence showing the Native Americans were here. They came
There's
from
plenty of
Alaska. I'm 47. They used to tell us about them when we was in school. They was called the Eskimos. They have the same religion. They have totem poles. They have the same culture. They look just like the people that's in Alaska right now. That's them. Go on YouTube, search Native Americans in Alaska. They pop right up. That's them.
Debo, I got two questions. When you're referring to the 1860 census, what was the first census that United States did as a country?
1790.
So why are you jumping almost 70 years afterwards and basing yourself on a census that happened on a population of 70 years
1840, 1850, and 1860 has more clarity, but you can still trace them back to the 1790s. And here's the thing. It ain't nothing but black folks on them. It's white people on the census too, but you can see their arrival. Why aren't the Native Americans on? Here's the key question. Why aren't the Native Americans on the census records? Anybody? Anyone? Any takers?
Three main reasons. One, the expansion towards the west, and particularly where a majority of Native were mainly established, did not happen until mid 1800s or early 1800s. Second reason is that you are arbitrarily deciding to say a census that did not have a clear categorization of their people back
they did have a clear
90s and 1860s is a definite proof that natives did not exist. That is incorrect.
Okay,
and
well, according to the Indian Removal Act, they had schools, governments, hospitals, and all of that. Show it to me.
I'm reading this right now. So Native Americans weren't included on the census from 1790 to 1840, and then from 1850 through 1890, they continued to exclude most Native people.
So when did they first appear on the census record? 1890. I'll help you out. 1890.
Right.
1890.
Okay. Right.
Okay. Google what happened in 1887 in Alaska. They got removed. Like I said, bro, I'm 47. They used to teach us about them when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's called
but we didn't call them natives back then. We called them just Eskimos. That was the wording for them. Eskimos. Native American came later, like
when did Native American
82, 83. You know, that kind of came later as far as us identifying them, saying, hey, that's a Native American. That came later.
They were called Cherokee. They were called Choctaw. They had different tribal names.
Well, when you look at they recorded the reservations. Look at the race, and they recorded the race of the people. Look on there.
So again,
what does this say?
The point here, Debo, the fact that Native Americans were not described in the census of 1790 to 1840 does not follow to then say they did not exist. There are several factors as to why within those census they were not added. Amongst those factors were a complete and utter ignorance on how to categorize people, and a confusion in regards of how to ethnically categorize those groups of people. So fundamentally, you're bringing a non-starter argument that is easily explained on the circumstances of that time
Non-starter
you're
argument.
referring to.
We live in
Well,
America
well,
right
well,
now.
I got to pass the mic, but the Europeans who came were very clear on what Native Americans were and what who the African slaves were. They were
Can I
very.
say this real quick before you
Yeah,
pass the mic?
I got to pass it to Ola. Go ahead, Ola. Unmute yourself, Ola. Unmute yourself, Ola. Unmute yourself, Ola.
I'm hearing you. Thank
Go
you very
ahead.
much, Nancy.
Go ahead.
You know, sometimes it baffles me how some of these guys, what is their really educational background? Were you able to discuss this thing with white people, the real white people that came from Europe to a place called United States, the British? Because sometimes when you people talk, they start laughing at you people. They will start busting laughing because they will never take you people serious.
That's why you're here, though.
Hold on, bro. they start laughing at you. You know why they laugh at you? Because they know who they met in these territories, who are the native. Why do you want to wipe out people that actually exist in these places before you even arrive?
All I'm asking for is show me that they were here.
Hold on.
Hold on, listen, man. We're in the United States of America. We're 9/10 of the law. 9/10 of the law's possession, right?
Hold on, bro.
So show me with physical evidence, you or anybody else out there. Show me with physical evidence that Native American people were here. With physical evidence, just one piece.
These people are United States. They give them compensation. They put them on so kind of like whatever they give it to them. They give them a special place. These people almost look alike to all the natives. I don't know if they call it the natives at that time, but I just use that word. To all the natives that lead out to South America. Their closest cousins in Mexico. How do you just decide that you want to take these people's identity and change it to yourself when you know the white people brought you by the big boat and they record everything down? How you came there, where you stayed, and everything. Maybe they might use some census Africans, they might use some census black. You know, out of the blue for nowhere. Because somebody is already finessing somewhere with some kind of playing with identity. You could just say, no. We were here first. If you were there first, what is your language? Because these natives still speak their traditional language. They still carry out their religion. They still doing a lot. Even when they mix with white people. Tell me your language, your food, and how do where is the grave of your ancestors? You understand me? Because all this so-called come in to spin it, to make it look sweet. It's to some people, this is kind of like bipolar. You understand me? Problem. You understand me? So you can be mixed. There's no problem about that. You can be mixed with white.
I wanted to mention something real quickly that Debo said.
All right, so you got 45 seconds. I got to pass the.
Just real quickly to clarify, 9/10 of the law is a principle, a guiding principle that refers and suggests that the physical control of an item holds significant weight in ownership disputes, meaning that when a court interprets 9/10 of the law, it's a presumption favoring the party currently holding or using the property. It has no inference onto what we're speaking right now. Just that. Because if you're going to use terms like that, at least know what the hell they mean, please.
Okay, let me pass it. Go ahead, Elvis. Unmute yourself.
All right. Thank you, Dinis. And hello to the panel. Look, I mean, full disclosure, right? I'm an immigrant and I'm younger than 47. But I know from, basic high school and college history, Alaska became a state, I think, in 1959. And there wasn't, Americans, at least the continental U.S., wasn't, talking about the people who live in Alaska as being Native American. because it wasn't even a part of America at that time as a state. So to say that this is who the Indians are referred to as Eskimos, the people who live in very cold weather, live in, Inuits or igloo or whatever you want to call them, those people, those are the Native Americans who was warring against the white man for control of this land. I mean, that's disinformation in the highest form. Now, I'm a liberal, so I would agree with, people who want to be identified as, whatever, but don't try to take away the history of another people. If you're talking about the possession law, what, respectfully, what possession does black people have to show that they own the land? You know, what do they have to show that they're the original Indians? What evidence are there to say that they were here and they own acreage of land, and the white people came and took it from them, and they have all this history to prove that they were here way before the white man came. Those histories, and those information just don't exist to us for us. So I think, brother, the conversation. I want to be respectful and say that there might be some evidence, just how the Hebrew Israelites they can find little evidence in the Bible, and there's some similarities between what happened to black people doing the slave trade and whatever, and they want to draw a connection to that and think that it's talking about them. I'm sure if you look back in history, you can see one or two things that would make you think that there's a connection that African American people were Native Americans. But you have to do, logical reasoning and think, you know, is it really possible that black people were on this land and they were the quote unquote native and white people came and took it from them? Because even if you use that logic, it was warfare. You lost. You lost. Even I'm from Africa. There was kingdoms that was captured and subjugated other people. They don't go back and ask for reparation now that we live in the 21st century and say, well, your ancestor killed my ancestor and took their land and brought them into servitude, and as such, you need to pay us reparation 100 years later. Even if I grant you that this was your land, you lost a war. You got subjugated. Your people, got enslaved. Your land was taken from you. You lost a war. Lost the war, and usually the victors don't pay reparation. The losers do. Go ask Germany. They pay reparations to the winners of war. So they pay. Sometimes in the olden days they pay tributes. The kings have to go and give tributes to the other kings. So, brother, I want to be respectful. If you want to classify yourself as something else, hey, I'm all for it. You're at liberty to be free in this country, but come with facts and don't try to disparage other people's history, to try to prop up yourself, and attach yourself to a history that the evidence just doesn't back up. I'll leave
All
it
right,
there for now.
go ahead, Infinity. Unmute yourself, Infinity.
Yeah, my point is here, that guy Bebo kind of making me sick. He said to you, have you looked at the slave ship schedules for America? And he tried to match 16 to 1860 schedules to the slave schedules, when the slave schedules would have stopped in 1808. So there's no way they could line up. Do you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand me? So what's the point of him asking that? There's no way, because there would have been such a change of personnel and people constant moving over that, say, 52-year period. So there's no way they could match up. And basically, the slavers in America didn't give a damn about the people's humanity. They wouldn't have recalled. They didn't care. So what was his point? What was the point of him asking? He doesn't even know that the slave trade to America stopped in 1808, not 1860, at the same time when basically slavery was ending. So his point, I don't know the point what he was trying to make. It made no sense. It made no sense at all. What the question he was asking you about the schedules, it didn't make no sense at all.
Yeah, mulatto rights activists, go ahead.
Yes, and thanks for passing me the mic. Are y'all able to hear me clearly?
Yes.
All right, I'll get right to it. Now I already know the answers. Somebody has to mute up and have background noise.
Hey, no, well, yeah, Infinity, I gotta meet you. Go ahead, mulatto.
Yes, and I already know the answer to this question, but I'm asking it just for the clarity of the audience. Now, are you descended from any of the U.S. indigenous tribal nations? And if so, which one?
No, I never said I was. I said I am a descendant from Central American, Mesoamerican indigenous
Exactly,
people.
exactly. So that's the point right there for the
Why?
listeners. When we're speaking about the history of U.S. indigenous peoples and tribal nations, Ditso is not an authority because he is not of U.S. indigenous ancestry or descent. And
Can I
moving forward, and
can
this
I
would be so
contest
brief.
that point afterwards after you're done? I would
Well,
like
which
to reply
you,
to
you
that
just
point
you
when you're
just
done.
you just conceded to the point, but go ahead, make your point now.
To the crowd and to the people, we see that the supremacy exclusiveness to which Mulatto is referring is parting from a clear erasure intention to delineate in a false way that the only natives valid enough here to be talked about are the ones that are construed as modern day United States. We see that his only approach is a non a complete and utter fallacy of principle in the way that he approaches this subject. It
Yes,
clearly
and
shows
let
that
me
his
respond
intention.
because I passed you the mic. Now at least have the
Let me
decency to
finish
pass
the
it
point
back.
and give
All
me
right, go
less
ahead.
than 30
Finish your
seconds.
point. Yeah,
Yeah,
finish your point.
in
Go ahead.
this way, the most serious, um, the most serious issue that Mulatto is committing is that his delineation is absurd, and it clearly shows an intention. For him, the erasure of any other Native Americans here in the Western Hemisphere is primordial to then replace it with only true blackness is the one born in the United States. The only true nativeness is born in the United States. I'll leave it to the crowd to
Yes.
judge if that is logical way to approach the
All right, now
subject.
pass you the mic. Now pass it back. And
Go
look
ahead.
how brief my watch how brief my response is. Disso is speaking from a position of insecurity. Right now, we're speaking about the indigenous tribes of the United States, not of the entirety of North America, Central America, or South America. Or, in other words, when we speak about the indigenous tribes of Central America, that's not the time for me to bring up the Cherokee or the Shinnecock or the Navajo or the Piscataway. Why? Because they are not indigenous to Central America. Right now, we have a focal point of a particular group of people, which are the indigenous people of the United States. It has nothing to do with erasure. That is his insecurity speaking. Or, in other words, and I'll say this in closing, if we're speaking about the indigenous people of Nigeria, why would I bring up the Khoisan of South Africa? Why would I
The
bring
most
up
serious
the Kikuyu
issue
of
that
Kenya?
Mulatto is committing.
Like, you see his insecurity. He cannot even have the decency
That,
to
that was
allow me to
that
finish
that
my
that
thought.
that mulatto.
No,
That
that
wasn't
was
it.
not me. That was not me.
Go ahead, mulatto. You, don't be triggered.
Yes,
Go ahead.
well, yeah, and I could tell that the crowd may be triggered by what I said, so I'll mute up and I'll allow the responses.
All right, bye, Bure. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Greetings, family. So the brother specifically, can you hear me? Anybody hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Wonderful. So the brother asked for some evidence, a piece, a shred. Let's go and get the brother some evidence.
Share your screen. All right, just our camera.
Hold on, let me figure that out.
No.
Okay, here we go. Share. What do I got to hit the share screen?
let me do this. Let me pass it to Big Black while you pause. While you I guess get that together. Actually, it's BSIA.
Present. That's what it is.
Yeah, present. BSIA. Go ahead. Unmute yourself. BSIA. Unmute yourself. BSIA. Unmute yourself.
Okay. Hey, yeah. Okay. Hey, thank you, brother.
Go ahead.
Prince Dynasty, the king of the Georgia Bulldogs, one of the fastest men in the world. Let me ask you a question before I ask Ditso the question. I'll just leave. How do you feel about? And I always wanted to ask you. I'm a big fan. I was a big fan of yours when you were in high school. My mother's from Georgia. You were all-star, 5-star recruit. Everybody wanted you. USC, UCLA, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio. How did you feel after you got injured and you couldn't fulfill your promise of, being an NBA superstar? I mean, NFL superstar, because you were projected to be an NFL superstar, and it's rare to be a 5-star recruit. So you were the one of the top athletes in the world. And so how did you feel from being one of the top athletes, literally in the world, to getting injured and just leaving the game altogether? Did that affect you mentally, or you just like, fuck it?
No, because I knew life moves on, and at the end of the day, being allowing it to affect me isn't going to help. Isn't going to change anything.
Okay, one more question. How did your parents feel? Because everyone was thinking you're gonna make millions of dollars, be a superstar, buy everybody homes. Did your family members like, oh wow, man, because you were the literally lottery, like literally. And most people don't realize how great you were coming out of high school. No, most people don't realize you were one of the top athletes on earth, not just America, on earth. You ran on a track team, so I was a big fan of yours. So a lot of people don't realize how great you really were. And so were your parents,
we know that, bro. We know Dinah's a straight.
okay, were your parents upset or family members? Or last
No.
question, were your parents
No,
like,
they
"Dang,"
weren't.
because
They
you were
weren't.
the lottery. So how did they feel?
They were like, I mean, life still goes on.
Okay,
wow.
that's news to me. I did not know that about Prince.
Yeah, Prince Dynasty was
Yeah, he
one
was
of
a
the
top
top
athlete.
athletes in the world coming out of high school. I was a big fan of him in Georgia. He was recruited by everybody, UCLA, Ohio State, Penn. He could have went anywhere. The world was kissing his ass, like, please come here.
My
Oh my God.
respects
Okay,
to
okay,
Prince.
bro. You're glazing too much. We get it. We get
It's
it.
true, though. I mean,
We get it, brother. You're a fan of Dinah's. We get
yeah,
it.
but that's a rarity. That's a rarity to be that great at 17, 18. You're a phenom. Anyway, I just want to ask one question to Disco. Not even a question. And I'm going to leave the panel. I just wanted to say to Disco, all due respect, you say you were Costa Rican. It's something you said last week, and this is all I want to say, and I'm going to get out of here and let you guys finish. But you said that you were just as American as we are, the descendants of chattel slaves. And I want to say, Ditsu, you are categorically wrong. And let me show you. Hang on, give me a second. In America, because I know you come from Latin America, okay? In America, if you look at the 2020 census, Ditsu, you're not American. You're Costa Rican, listed under Latino and Hispanic. So in America, you're Hispanic, Latino, Costa Rican. You're not American. Now, your argument is, well, in Latin America, they teach that there's no such thing as North America and South America. It's just called America, right? So your stance is, since it's just called America, that we're taught in Latin America, these two continents are called America. Therefore, everybody's American who comes from these two continents. Well, that's what they teach in Latin America, homie. This is America. And in America, from high school to college to the government, the federal government, the OMB, the census, you are not American. You are Costa Rican, Latino, and Hispanic. Second of all, let me finish. Second of all, when you say you are American because this was in Latin America, these two continents are called America, that means nothing. It's a nothing burger because the continent America, as you say, has no legal standing. There's no legal boundaries. You're acting like America is a designated legal place with laws and governments. No, America, I'm jumping on your side. The way you propose America, the two continents, it's nothing. There's no legality or legal standing when you stand on America saying, well, these two continents are called America according to us Latinos. First of all, who cares? This is America. You're not American, you're Latino. Second of all, even if I jump on your side and say, yeah, both continents are called America, there's no legal standings. There's no America government. There's no American military. There's no nothing. So when you stand on America from your Latin American angle, it's a nothing burger. It's nothing there.
Okay,
And I'm gonna leave.
Can I reply before you leave? I
Okay,
really want
go
you
ahead,
to hear
go ahead.
this.
Go ahead.
Completely and utterly wrong in every single point that you said.
Everything I said
Because
was a
then-
fact. Go ahead.
did I interrupt you? No.
Yeah,
Okay.
go. Everything I said
So-
was a fact, but go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
no. Everything that you said is wrong. First, the term American as a generalized geographical denominator is applied Africa or Europe or Asia. It refers to a series of nearby geographical locations that share a whole series of elements of historical, cultural, etc. So to start on that. Now, second, as we've seen, the application of the term American by the Europeans happened at least almost 130 years prior to what was the British America or the 13 colonies. So this exonym or name that was not ours but was placed to us in that sense became a signal in regards of the era of independence. Even your own founding fathers recognized that they were not America, they were just a country or a region within that America. That's why you chose the term on your constitutional name as United States of America, being the driving force of that name of recognizing that there was something greater. So let's just start from there. From the historical standpoint, your argument makes no sense whatsoever. Second, from the geopolitical organization, especially on the modern day, we have the Organization of American States, which is the major, let's just call it in this way, the mini UN between the 35 nations that were that emanated from the era of independence. Therefore, we see that the knowledge of Americanness, such as the knowledge of Africanness, is something that works as that umbrella. We recognize that there are 35 nations within the continent of America, as there are 54 nations within the continent of Africa, or 42 nations. Hold on, I did not interrupt you.
Can you land
You
your
spoke
plane,
for a
bro?
long.
You
didn't. You took your time.
No, I did. I said it bullet points. Because you're wrong. I'm going to show you wrong, but hurry up. Because
again, this is the thing. You took your time. You took your time. You were long-winded on your answer, and now
I know
it's
hypocrisy. This has
hypocrisy.
got to continue. Can he land his plane so I can respond and leave?
Okay, so
Donis, you got to sign a Georgia Bulldog dogs sweatshirt for this guy so you can frame
I find it.
For real, I'm a big fan. He's a superstar.
I find it extremely hypocritical from BSA that he was long-winded on his explanation, that he did not bring any source or any sense onto it, and now he criticized me. But fine, I'm just going to land my plane.
Thank you. Okay.
The position.
You landed your plane. Let me respond so I can leave. Okay. Let me speak. So
I know you want to run because you don't want to have the discussion, but fine.
No, what this is.
I'm going to land my plane. Let me land my plane before you continue on rudely interrupting me in that sense. The point is that from a historical standpoint, from a sociological standpoint, from an anthropological standpoint, from any standpoint, everything that you said is bullshit. It's a lie, and it clearly shows that you have no clue where the hell you're standing. You have no clue of the history. You have no clue of how those terms apply, nor do you have any clue. Everything that you said is just entirely a systematic lie. The reason that you want to run is because you don't want to have.
All right, man, let me pass the BSIA. You got 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you. Did so love you, bro, but everything you said is a fucking lie. I'll prove it to you. No, everybody look on the 2020 census. It says Costa Rica.
I don't give a shit about your census.
No, did so. Let me land my.
Your census is your census of your country.
Don't interrupt him.
Hey, I'm just repaying with the coin he gave me.
No, I'm trying to hear him, but you keep interrupting. Go ahead, BSIA.
Yeah. Okay, let me land my plane. Give me 60 seconds and I'm out. Ditso is wrong. He's ignorant. In America, on the 2020 census. Everybody look it up. It's going to say Costa Rican under Latino and Hispanic, not American. Second of all, our entire educational system says that he is from North America, Costa Rican, but he's not American. Third of all, the United Nations says that you are actually Central American. So you want to bring up all these organizations? Everybody go to the United Nations. You're going to see Costa Rica listed under Central America. So no. Let me finish.
You gotta let the guy
In
finish.
America, listen, in America, you are Latino, Hispanic, Costa Rican. According to the United Nations, you are Central American. And even if you want to use America, it's a nothing burger because there's no legality to America. Nothing. That makes us the only America because there's 195 nations on earth. We are the only nation that has America in it. That makes us the only American. I land my plane. Prince Dynasty, Bulldog, world champion. Love you, brother. Thank you for letting me come up.
Love you too, man. I appreciate it. Bob,
I appreciate you, bro. You're a phenom.
I'm just gonna say this.
No, but I gotta
You gotta
I gotta pass it. Bob Bure. Go ahead, Bob Bure. Bob Bure, go ahead.
In the words of R. Kelly, brother, do you have your passport? Do you have your shots?
Who you asking?
The brother say he American. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? No, so the information is there. You requested physical information, shreds of evidence. You can see it on the screen now. Is that enough for you?
Go ahead and read it, Bob Bure.
Okay, if you start off with point 1, prehistoric settlements, indigenous peoples have inhabited North America for at least 15,000 years, with some estimates going back to 20,000 years. Archaeological sites such as Cactus Hill in Virginia, Meadowcroft Rock Shelter in Pennsylvania show human activity well before 10,000 BCE. The Clovis culture, identified by distinctive stone tools, dates back to around 13,000 years ago. Point 2, established civilizations before European contact. The Mississippi culture, or Cahokia Mounds in present-day Illinois, where I'm from, was a major urban center around 1050 to 1350 Common Era. The ancestral Puebloans, also known as Anasazi, built cliff dwellings and complex societies in the Southwest long before 1790. Tribes such as Iroquois Confederacy or the Haudenosaunee had established political systems centuries before the U.S. was founded. Third, European records and encounters. European explorers such as Christos, 1492, John Cabot, 1497, and later settlers, example, Jamestown in 1607, Plymouth, 1620, documented meeting well-established indigenous nations. Maps and travel logs from the 1500s and 1600s describe thriving Native American communities throughout the continent. And finally, U.S. government census and recognition. To your point, by 1790, when the first U.S. census was taken, Native Americans were already known to the federal government, but not counted in the census unless they were taxed, showing recognition of their separate political and cultural status. Any more proof you need, brother?
Okay, let me do this. Let me pass it to Big Black Pause, and then Vovo Rants, and then I'll pass it to Debo, and Debo will respond. Go ahead, Big Black. Let me yourself.
Okay, brother. First of all, I do not like the term FBA. It's a difference between the FBA group and African Americans. The FBAs, the whole thing is the FBAs, they tether themselves to the indigenous people of America, and they try to pretty much swap their name, want to be those people, which they're not. So that's a group that doesn't speak for African Americans as a whole. Yes, some of us have maybe a grandmother that may have had some Indian in her, but for the most part, we all come from Africa. 2, it's really funny when I see a lot of people try to take Disso out the conversation, but those same group of people, they like to run to Central America to look at the Olmecs, right? So what is Disso supposed to do? You know, a person that has a lot of indigenous origin, American origin in them, and you have people trying to pretty much take his history from him. So that's number two. That's pretty much crazy. As far as like being American, yes, this is an American. If you fill out an application online or anywhere, they're not going to ask you, "Are you American?" They're going to ask you, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" Okay. This was not a U.S. citizen, but yes, he is an American. If he's from Central America, he's a Central American. That doesn't exclude him from being American. By the guy acknowledging that he's from Central America proves that he's American. So yes, he has a right to this conversation. You know, but this whole FBA thing and it's tethered to this whole Aboriginal thing, really, that makes it pretty much nonsense. It's not really going to be on the internet. It seems like it's getting traction, but publicly, you know, the FBA, the people in the FBA group, a lot of them don't even understand, you know, what's on Tariq's website. As far as claiming that they're pretty much at least 1/3 Indian, and most African Americans do not believe that ideology. I'll pass the mic.
Let me shout out to Ronique for the $50 holla via Cash App. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. She also came to Nigeria back in 2022. Thank you again for the $50 holla, Ronique, on via Cash App. All right, go ahead, Bobo Rants.
Can you hear me, brother?
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on something that Ditso said. Is he still here?
No, he left.
I tried to ask him this last time too. Damn, that was my whole purpose.
Well, real quick, guys, hit the guys. Make sure you hit the like button. Everyone in here, if you have not hit the like button yet, please hit that like button. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him a question. I mean, you know what I mean? They complain about our delineation, but the Puerto Ricans delineate. When you fly a Puerto Rican flag, you're saying I'm this separate people. When you fly a Mexican flag, you're saying I'm this separate people. When you fly any flag, a Chinese man, if you fly a flag, saying that I'm of this culture, I'm of these people. These are my people. That's delineation. That's putting a border around who you are. You know what I mean? So why is it such a problem when we do it? That's the real question. Why is this such a big conversation? This is really a silly conversation that we've been entertaining for years. And the guy said it's only online. No, it's getting traction everywhere. You're starting to hear politicians talk about it. They're actually using the term Black American instead of African American, and I'm hearing foundational Black American on news channels and news shows, and there's the delineation is already in. There's nothing. These type of things don't go backwards. They don't go backwards. Shit like this don't go backwards. This stuff is documented. This stuff is documented. So this is all. This stuff is going forward. So whether y'all like it or not, the delineation is already in. But I did want. That's what I wanted to. I wish Ditso did so. I can't say his name.
Can I give a retort, brother?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. Let me pass it to Debo first, and I'll let you retort. Go ahead, Debo.
All right. Thanks for having me, man. All right. So when he just read, when I asked for proof that the natives were here, he read something, and reading something is one thing, but he missed the key words: physical proof. Now, the reservations were recorded by the federal government. The non-tax places, they were recorded. When you look at the names and the race of the people, it says their name and it says their race. It's that simple. The government recorded it. Now, if we were in a court of law, this is America. This is what I was trying to tell you before. What gets dismissed? Hearsay or physical evidence? Hearsay get dismissed. Physical evidence to get you 60 years in prison. It'll get you convicted, right? Okay, so all I'm saying is, Native Americans, show me with physical evidence that you were here, because I can do that. I can show you with physical evidence that blacks were here. I can show you with physical evidence that blacks trace back to the Indian mounds. I can show you with physical evidence that blacks were on the reservations. I can show you with physical evidence blacks practice Jubilee slavery, which is in the Bible. Those mounds are in the Bible. Everything that I'm saying, the federal government recorded. You can go on History Channel and watch. Go on YouTube and look at the History Channel presentation about the Indian mounds. They make it clear. Well, the natives didn't make those. The natives didn't make those. A different group of people made those mounds. You can, if you read the Indian Removal Act, go on Britannica, read it slowly. It makes a distinction between the Native Americans and the American Indians. Now, let me end it with this. The 5 civilized tribes were in the south part of America. The South. Where do all black people, where are our grandparents from? You go ahead and pass the mic with that one.
All right, let me Bye. You can respond, and I pass it to Big Black from the retort. Bye, Beret, if you want to respond. Bye, Beret. There, you gotta mute yourself. Okay, Big Black, go ahead. Then I'll pass it to Kofi. Go ahead, Big Black.
I was looking for the screen. My bad. So, yeah, bro. I mean, Ivan Van Sertima in the 70s came out a book saying that we were here before Columbus. That's not the argument. What you all are doing are making the new argument, right? That, oh no, we not African, we weren't enslaved. We were already here, but we weren't African. That conversation is going on, and that's where the disconnect comes from the historical canon of what is Africana studies, Black studies. I mean, all that stuff's been documented. Africans been here before. Yes, you are correct, sir. But when you get into, we weren't enslaved. We've been over there. We saw the dungeons, all along the coast while people were taken. We got the stories from the Africans over there. And a first-hand account, eyewitness is evidence. Primary sources is evidence. I don't know what else you want besides archaeological evidence. That's physical evidence.
It's physical. Go ahead.
Yeah, 1,000 years archaeological evidence. What else you need?
Okay.
You're going to
Here's
deny
some.
evidence?
Well, no, I'm not denying it, but what I'm saying is, can you prove that we were there? And what is it called? The castle that they held the slaves in, allegedly, quote unquote, before the door of no return. Can you put our people? Can you physically put us there? The answer is no, because there's no physical evidence. And then you're saying eyewitness. Well, what is the character of these eyewitnesses? Are they good eyewitnesses? Were they drunk eyewitnesses? Were they paid? Were they influenced eyewitnesses? I want to know all of that before I just say, yep.
What, Mike? There's actually slave narratives placing themselves there, and books written placing themselves there and telling the stories of the transatlantic slave trade and what happened from capture to ending up here in the West.
Those are primary sources. The brother don't recognize that.
Why would they make that up? Why would they go through the trouble of building a slave dungeon and making up a whole story? Like, what's the purpose? Like,
I think here's the thing. People were trading long before whites arrived in 1600. The world didn't just start in 1600.
That ain't what I asked you, brother.
People were already, the dark races had a trade between them. And here's what lets you know that. Just like I was talking about the Indian mounds, well, they're in West Africa too. They're in Jamaica. They're all over the southern regions.
There's no
where the melanated people are that are close
to there's no Indian mounds in West
That's
Africa.
a lie.
Yes, there is. Google search it for yourself.
Yes, there Indian mound in Africa.
Hold on. Are you
that
one of
doesn't
those
even
guys
make any sense.
The same mounds that are in America are in
How's
Africa.
there an Indian mound in Africa? How's it not an African
Are
mound?
you one of them guys that the slave trade happened in reverse? Are you one of those guys?
Listen, all I'm doing is going off of archaeological evidence. The same mounds. Hold on, hang on. Listen, hear what I'm saying. Hear it clearly.
Don't lie on the science of archaeology.
Hear it clearly, and you can look this up. There are mounds that are the exact same mounds that are here are in Africa, in West Africa. They're in
Exact same.
yes,
Exact
the mounds.
same.
Yes, the mounds. They're in dude.
So
They're
there
biblical. They
are
stretch
big
back
earth
thousands of
mounds.
years.
Those guys that the
So you
slave
mean
trade.
there are big earth mounds in Africa like there are here in Illinois, like Cahokia? What
We
you're
don't
saying?
have what I'm saying can be determined. Google search it and then say sorry. What I'm saying can be determined. I'm not guessing. This is
Why
what I
don't
know to
you
be true.
Google search it and put it up on the screen, share it on the screen? Why don't you do it?
Why don't you do it?
Google,
I already know.
Google, because you made the
Google,
claim.
dude. You could just
you
sit in
made
front of a
the
computer. Just Google
you
search it.
made the
Just Google
erroneous
search it.
claim. You made
It's
the
not
claim
erroneous.
that there are
Mhm.
mounds just like there
And
are in Africa or in
in
America.
West
So
Africa,
show me the
yep.
mounds in Africa like there are in America. Show me
Just
the earth
Google. I'm
mounds.
pretty sure somebody in the chat has Google searched it, and you see. Go ahead and name them.
You
Yes,
said they're Indian.
there's mounds.
They're
There is
Indian earth
mounds
mounds.
just like these ones in America. There are mounds just like these in Africa,
They're
in West
Indian
Africa.
earth mounds in Africa.
They're the exact
They're
same
not
mounds.
African earth mounds.
Are you
Well,
one of those guys that believe the slave trade happened in reverse? Like
I'm one of those guys that believe proof. I believe proof.
I'm
Those
asking
same mounds that are in America are in
Okay,
Africa.
so
I
show
believe
your
proof.
proof of
I'm
those
saying I'm
mounds
asking
in Africa.
one question.
Where at in Africa? Africa is a big continent. Where are
Bro,
you
you have
talking in
Google.
Africa?
Just Google it. Just do. It can be
Why don't
determined.
you
Just Google
Google?
it.
You the one
Just
who
Google
made the claim. That's
because
not
I
how
already know.
Scholastic works, bro.
Okay,
You
hang on.
made the claim. You have to back the claim.
Adonis, can you
Okay,
ask?
give me 1 second.
Can you
Here,
ask?
how do I do this? Let me see.
Are
Hang
you
on
one of
1
those
second.
guys that
How
believe
do
that?
I do this? Let me see.
Real quick, before you start trolling, bro. Are you one of those guys that believe that the slave trade happened in reverse?
Hey, moderator, could you fact check that for me real quick? Can you Google search that? I'm not tech savvy. Moderator,
I'm not
you do it.
Google searching that. You
Oh,
you
I
you
didn't
made
think
the
so.
claim. You made the
You,
claim. You bring the information up.
But what? But it can be. But you can search it.
I asked him
You can
that.
search it.
Don't ask it if I answer it.
Well, hold on, let me make this retort real quick, Vovo.
Hold on, wait. Just real
So by
fast.
now, all of y'all have Google searched it though.
If anybody here, is he one of them guys? He ain't gonna answer it. Y'all probably talk to him more than me. I just want to know. Is he one of those guys that's saying
Most likely, most likely.
Of course, wait.
Okay.
What Dane
yeah.
is saying, what Dane is
He
saying, what you're
believes
talking
the
about,
slave
Dane
trade
Calloway.
happened in reverse.
Now, what I can't say it happened in reverse. I can't say that. I can't say that.
You can't say it
I
happened
can't.
normally either.
I
Well,
can't say that happened in reverse.
You can't
It's
say
a
the truth.
preponderance
You
of
can't say the
evidence,
truth
though,
either.
man. If why don't you believe the West Africans that say that the slave trade happened? What's your excuse there?
Why don't you believe the
Because when I
Jamaican
say
Maroons
talk to
who say they come
Africans,
from Africa? Why don't you
hold
believe
on.
the Jamaican Maroons or the Gullah
The
Geechee
who?
people? Why don't you believe them?
The Gullah Geechee people, I don't know
Yes.
nothing about no Gullah Geechee people. All I know
Oh,
is their
okay.
records is online, and then what I see when I look at their records that were created by the federal government, I see that they are just there. They're enslaved to each other, like the son is enslaved to the father. That's what it says.
This is not somebody
That is the record from the United States of America.
y'all
This
going
dude is trolling.
He's not somebody that should be
Yes,
taken
sir.
serious.
Yeah,
If
you
No,
believe-
I tell
serious,
you,
sir.
the moderator, your boy got the records. Why he ain't saying nothing?
slaves from America to Africa happened in reverse, and there's a big cover up, and there's all types of slave dungeons that people actually went to, and we got history. We got people saying that this is my history. I can't.
Where the slave ship at?
Slavery, and it's just all one big conspiracy, and these are the only guys that know about it. Come on, man, knock it off, man. That ain't. What are you talking to this guy?
It's too much of a preponderance of evidence that the
Debo,
slave
do you
trade
believe in DNA evidence? Yes or no?
I believe DNA can connect you. It could determine kinship, like me and you as cousins. But can it trace me back to my land? No, my land would say Cleveland, Ohio. How come it don't say that?
Your land would
I
take
mean,
Cleveland,
like-
Ohio on a DNA test.
How come it don't say that?
Do you know when the state of Ohio was created?
I'm in right now. I'm on Union. Where you at?
I think it went over your head.
Bro,
That's
you
where I'm from. So how come it doesn't say
What is your native land? What is your native land? Because
Mississippi?
Ohio is a creation of the American government. What is your native land called?
Listen to what you just said. You, my friend, just said the $1 million thing. Africa was just named in like the 1600s. How would you connect to? How can your spit connect you to dirt in Africa?
This African word.
It's connected to the actual living people.
Africa is an indigenous African word that is a myth that it was named after a man named
I'm
Staples.
still waiting on the proof that the natives were here
That's a
prior
myth.
to
Gave you the proof. You
1887.
wanna
I'm
see?
still
You
waiting
wanna
on
see?
that.
Hey, guys, let me pass the mic to Kofi. Unmute yourself, Kofi.
Hey, what's up, man? I'm trying to understand where these guys are getting this information from.
Prison.
Ancestry.com.
They don't hold on. They don't believe in science. They don't believe in DNA. They don't believe that it was slave ships. They don't believe in anything that's documented for hundreds of years. These white folks have been documenting everything. They documented the slaves, the ships, the food that was in the
Did you
ship.
read them, though, bro? Did you read the documents?
Sir,
Did you read them?
let him speak,
Yeah, you
sir.
can look it up.
Let Kofi speak.
The people who were running these ships, or who were the people who were insuring the ships, they documented all of this stuff, man. The slaves came from Africa.
Okay, but did you read it? Did you read it for yourself, what they documented? That's all I'm asking. Did any of you read what they documented?
Can I say this real fast? This
homeboy, the moderator did.
Hold on.
Just this disclaimer: this guy does not reflect the hearts and minds of the good people of Cleveland, Ohio. Just for the record.
Okay.
He don't. I'm from the Midwest too. He don't.
The Cleveland Indians, huh? The Cleveland Indians, huh?
Somebody keeps calling about slave ships. There's no, where are the ships? They keep saying where are the slave ships? They keep saying where's the slave ships? The slave ships have disappeared. They were made from wood. There was no all of these ships were made from wood. We have ships from thousands and thousands of years ago. Can you name one ship? We have all these records from the Egyptians, from the Romans, from the Greeks, all these glorious large battles with wooden ships. And you can't find any of those ships now because they are disintegrated, deteriorated in the water. Water destroys wood.
But it's impossible to get all them people over here. It's impossible to get all those people over here.
Well, how do all the white people get over there? You keep saying all these people, but there was still more white people.
Nobody has answered my question though. Have you read what the federal government says? And how and listen to the question. How do you hold on? Listen to it. How do you refute what the federal government says, documented and released? You just haven't read it, so it all sounds crazy to you.
Have you been to Africa?
No, I'm not from there.
Have you been to the dungeons in the slave dungeons?
Nope.
Have you
Never.
seen how many slaves?
So you are completely unwilling to open yourself to new information, things that may change your mind.
You don't even know me, brother.
You just said no, you're not going.
I am.
You said no, you're not going.
Just show me the information so I can look over it. But I've been to Africa. I've been to the slave dungeons.
But
where you been at in Africa?
What's the purpose of going? What do that do for you? That shit is in a museum or something. Like, what's the purpose?
No, it's not a museum, brother. It's not a museum.
It is. Is it still serving its original purpose?
No, it's not holding slaves anymore.
It's just you're gonna walk through there and say, "Oh yeah, this is where they were held. This was the point of no return. This was that." You're gonna pay some money, and walk you through that motherfucker, and that's it. Why would
they damn near let you go in there for free, brother? They damn near let you go in there.
Damn near ain't free.
But the point that he's making that there's evidence. That's evidence.
Evidence.
I totally believe in the slave trade. All that. I know that this shit happened. Period. I'm not one of those guys. I'm FBA. I'm not. I don't. That guy right there is not FBA because we don't believe in that.
No. Listen. Here's the thing. Y'all keep skipping. This. This is not. Hold on. Hear me out. This is not what I said. This is what the federal government said. Y'all just haven't read it yet. Now go on his wall. I tagged him in it.
Slaves though. So how can you believe something from the federal one thing but not believe the other thing?
Because they recorded. Listen to me now. Here it is again. They recorded the slavery. The type of slavery it was Jubilee slavery.
Hey guys, let me read this super chat. Tarhaka, $2 holla, Jamaican Indian checking in. Tarhaka, another $2 holla. I'm sorry, $5 holla. Hold on, go back to this. $5 holla. Arrest the idiot that created DNA. Tarhaka, you funny. All right, let me pass it to absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead. Absolutely. Unmute yourself.
Hey, balance, fellas. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of on the side of I would say dark-skinned people being here in America prior to any colonization time frame. So, and the reason why I say that is because of the white indentured servitude slave trade that took place for 200 years from Europe to America prior to said any African slave trade ever happened.
Sir, do you believe that we were the original people here? Because
absolutely.
Okay, so you believe that we were Aboriginal?
Absolutely.
See, here's the thing, Vovo. This is why I say that the foundation of Black American, it's a slippery slope. The foundation that was built by Tariq Nasheed, right? Where he says that a third of Black people were already here.
Man,
that's the slippery. Hold on. Let me just say this. That's the slippery slope.
Tariq not here, bro. I'm my own
no,
man.
no. But he made the term.
I'm my own man, bro. I'm my own man. You talking?
But I'm telling you, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you per se, as far as like everything at you. But I'm saying this to the crowd. Period. That's the slippery slope of the term FBA. You say you want to delineate. I understand delineation, but if the delineation is made on a bad foundation, then it's gonna break.
But it shouldn't matter to you anyway. It shouldn't matter to you anyway. It really
yes, it should. Yes, because you're trying to label me FBA.
No, you don't. You don't have to agree with it. Ain't nobody.
But Tariq is trying to label my whole ethnic group FBA. It has everything to do with
this. Is what we're saying.
I disagree with that.
Period. If you can't, we make it real simple. It's actually pretty simple. But everybody want to complicate it because they want to keep.
No, it's not that. It's not that simple.
It is. I'm gonna
trying to make it an ethnic.
I'm gonna tell you how simple it is. Whether you agree with the term or not. If you can't trace your lineage back to the 1870 census, we're not the same people. Period.
We understand that. We
document
that. But when you have Tariq trying to label a whole group of people, yeah, it does.
You don't have to agree with that label. Huh? You don't have to agree with that.
But you steady trying to push it. So that's why. That's why you get to push back.
Do you agree with Freedman? Do you agree with the term Freedman? Freedmen.
It's kind of murky there. I have to look into it more, but it's kind of murky there, man.
Yeah, you don't know
because Tariq says anybody's freedman is FBA. See what I'm saying? The foundation and the wording, what he has
the reason why we use that
brother, it's a bad foundation.
The term is a delineation term. Period. Because
but in that delineation the term that he made up, brother, you can't escape the term that he made up. He said we 1/3.
He refined it. He didn't say no 1/3. No, he didn't, bro. You just making up.
We could go. We could pull up the website right now.
Hold up.
It's on the website.
I'm still waiting for somebody to answer me. What about these federal documents? Who's reading them? Who read them?
You don't have to bring them up. Bring them up, bro. Bring them up. You talking about you waiting on that? Bring them up so we can read them. You're not.
Man, I told you I'm not tech savvy. Your boy, I tagged your boy in them. The host, he has them.
All you gotta do is press the present thing on your phone. Bring them up. Bring them up.
Press what?
Bring them up. Bring them up next time, then. Bring them up next time.
I agree with Vovo on that now.
You can just click, man. You can just smack my wall. They right there on the wall. I recorded myself reading them.
I'm smacking your wall, bro. I ain't about to
Okay. Yeah. I ain't think so. The government, man, look, the government report. Listen, y'all. This is what I'm telling y'all. Now you go read it for yourself. It's up to you to determine for yourself what it is that you're reading. But from what the government recorded, from what the government wrote down, and what the government accidentally released to the public.
Now, I agree with Vovo on this point. You keep bringing up stuff that you can't refute. You don't want to Google it. You don't want to bring it up on your screen, but you steady trying to force it down our throats, and nobody agrees with you.
So yeah, you gotta present evidence, bro. Period.
It's on your man's wall. Like I said, hit my YouTube wall. It's right there. It's on the moderator of the show, man. The moderator of the show, no. I already smacked him with it. He already know. He already read.
Yeah. Get off this YouTube video to go get on your YouTube video, watch that, and then come back, bro. Yeah, you
Bro,
gotta present your information better.
Okay, well, just the United States slave schedules. They're on ancestry.com. You can read them at your own pace, at your own time.
This the type of shit. This the ABO shit. The ABO what?
Bro,
y'all give us a bad name with these weird.
You can read it and for yourself, and then just come back and apologize. I'll let you do that.
In reverse, and slavery never happened.
Volvo, and that's also my argument. Because
I'm not saying slavery didn't happen. Now, don't twist my words. No, I didn't say slavery didn't happen. I said the type of slavery.
Trying to make everybody Indian, pretty soon.
No. As far as Indian,
FBA is just all Indian.
The panties and the ABOs are the same. They just on different ends of the spectrum,
brother.
They both, the Pan African.
I know you didn't call us the damn panties, man.
Huh?
I thought you didn't label us.
They call me Abo and all that type. Come on, y'all too soft now. They call me Abo and all that type of shit. I don't believe in either one of them. They both on different ends of the spectrum. They both the same level of weird. They both the same level.
No, Pan-Africanism is a more strategic way of.
No, it's not, bro. You're gonna have to tell me how you're gonna get 50-something countries on board, hundreds of different groups, hundreds of different tribes.
Oh wait, can I just put the link in the chat? Can I do that?
Thousands of different dialects of the languages. How you get all that on board?
Pan-Africanism.
Wait, back up. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Can I put the link in the chat?
Give me 30 seconds. Yeah, you got to go after you get everybody that's on the continent on board. You got to go out into the world.
The Europeans was able to do it.
Everybody who is a part of your group.
Sir, it's not about Pan-Africanism. Is not about making Africa one big country.
Who's qualified to be an African and who's not? What's the qualification?
Sir, let me tell you what it is, sir.
I heard Umar Johnson say if you got
hold on, what Mike Debo, you got a whole lot of background noise, man. I just gotta mute you.
Yeah, throw him off, man. Throw him off.
Let me explain this, Volvo. Pan-Africanism is about leveraging power, black power, throughout the diaspora and on the continent. That's all it's about, leveraging power.
Okay, now who qualifies?
Huh?
Who qualifies?
Who qualifies? Anybody black. Black Africans.
What's black? What's black, bro? Who qualifies? It's some of them just
black. Everybody that's black.
Dark skin.
Everybody that has
dark skin.
I'm trying to answer your question. Anybody that has ancestry from black Africans, from black Africans. How do you prove? We got DNA. You don't believe in DNA?
Everybody on the globe got to take a DNA test and present the paperwork and be like,
you can just look in the mirror. You don't have to take no DNA test.
You can look in the mirror, brother.
I'm from Argentina, and I have African ancestry, so I'm a part of this African diaspora.
It's a brother that's indigenous to Africa that looks just like you. Is there anybody indigenous to Europe that looks like you?
No.
Okay,
I wouldn't think so. Look.
Brother. Now you sound like the apples.
It's about looks,
brother. The people that look like me and you mostly congregate on the continent.
It ain't about mostly. I'm asking you who. See, that's the when you delineate, you put a border around.
So now you're Abo now. Which side you gonna be on?
I ain't saying nothing about no Abo or nothing.
Okay, so where argument? All black people originate from?
It's about looks. So it's about looks. Is what you're saying? It's about looks.
Do we originate from a continent? Yes or no?
Yeah, I originate from this continent.
Now you're an apple now. God damn. You don't want
you're an apple.
That's why I said the NBA thing is not gonna work.
I've been called worse, trust me.
You're elbow now. It's okay.
Okay, now you're elbow. We know what size you're on. Why you arguing this?
Y'all the panties. Y'all the panties. I'm the elbow.
You don't know what you are, brother. What minute you say we're from Africa?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I know 100%. I'm not spending no cup for these people to send me some paper and be like, oh, this you. I can go right to Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas.
Nobody said you had to go back to Africa, brother.
No, I'm just saying I'm saying if I want to know who I am, all I got to do is talk to family. Hey, what was grandma? What's her name? What was auntie? What's her name? That was in the army. Remember? That's what I do. I don't got to do no.
But it's common sense.
And they send you back, and I'm waiting by the mail.
Vovo,
oh my God!
It's common sense that black people are from Africa.
Nah, I go right. My surname traced to
all I'm saying is it's common sense that black people from the Americas are from Africa, brother. It's common sense.
We not denying that we got African ancestry, but that shit, we lost anything African when we crossed the Atlantic.
Well, I'm denying African ancestry altogether as an Aboriginal.
Bro, these guys are weird. It's weird guys everywhere.
Now, let me pass the mic to let me pass the mic to first name BR. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, this is first name. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to present this article real quick. There's a lot of confusion about people saying blacks was in America first. And I'm just going to go straight to the source of what geneticists say. Can I share my screen?
Go ahead and share your screen. Dennis usually let people share their screen. I believe he's okay with it, if he can.
Yeah, I'm waiting from the share. You gotta hit present, man. You gotta hit present first name.
I'm sharing.
Well, hold on. Let me Okay, here we go. It's coming. It's coming.
Can you see my screen?
Nah, it came up for a second, then it stopped. Hold on. Oh, I gotta remove this. Hold on.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Dice. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm doing that wrong. It got the circle of death. Your connection is dead. Yeah, bro. I get something's wrong with your connection. Cause my birds is fine. Yours. Oh, here we go. It's here now. It's here now. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
We see a screen. Go ahead and scroll up. Read.
Okay, this is from an article that says 4 of North America's oldest human skulls don't look much alike. Okay, so right here it says geneticists, meanwhile, working with both modern and ancient DNA, have confirmed that the first Americans descended from East Siberian populations, consistent with the overland Berengenian hypothesis. Though they have also uncovered evidence of multiple waves of migration over millennia, at least some potentially by following the Pacific coast. Other ideas persist in popular culture despite or directly across the Pacific, island hopping via Polynesia.
I would like to mention Vitus Barron.
Well, hold on. Well, 1 second. First name. Your connection is just. I don't know what's wrong with your connection, man.
Hey, Dennis, I want to say something real quick.
Go ahead, Elvis.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard about 23andMe going bankrupt and potentially selling people, data and, I don't know how you feel about that. I've never done a DNA test, but that's one of the things that I was skeptical about. Sending out your saliva to these people and your DNA could be used for whatever thing, whatever they want to use it for.
African ancestry don't keep your DNA.
That's how you know?
Because if you go back, when you go back to them and try to redo the test, they tell you they can't do it because they don't have that.
If you desperate enough to swab your mouth and send it to these people so they can send you a piece of paperwork back and they tell you who you is, you don't know who you is.
Well,
that's what I'm telling you.
When the judge tell you to go take a DNA test to see if you're the father,
that's and they say, that's kinship.
DNA test, don't you?
That's kinship.
Is that blood work for those paternity tests, or is it just?
That's kinship. No, I took several shit.
No, I'm saying, how does it work? I've never taken a DNA test.
Is it swab? No, just swab.
Yeah, it's just swab.
Yeah, you pay that child support.
I'm missing all types of cells on the side of my jaw.
You pay the child support.
Why you gotta take so many DNA tests that you missing part of your jaw?
My 20s was treacherous, man. I think they didn't knock the tooth on the side of my shit. I'd have lost a tooth. But this the thing. If you got to do all that, man, you really don't know who he is.
Hey, as long as you producing those Africans, brother, that's all right, man.
Huh?
As long as you producing those Africans, brother, that's all right, man. More black Africans, man. Power to the people.
Africans though, we ain't without trolling. Like, see, I've never had to resort to trolling. I never had to resort to trolling.
I mean, we have African DNA in us.
We ain't no Africans. When we crossed the Atlantic, all that African shit went out the window.
Like it or not, you from
what you talking about? You
But Bobo, if you ever go to Africa, brother, go to Nigeria. I guarantee you, brother, you will see people that look just like you, and they haven't been living or mixing with American Indians for centuries.
I'm not about to go out there to the hood and to the regular people. I'm gonna be at the resort where they're gonna show me all the beautiful stuff.
No, I'm saying that's fine, but I'm telling you, phenotypically, you don't look that much different than Africans on the continent. There's some of them who may look very dark skinned and Nilotic, but regular folks like myself. You know, I don't know if you see my picture up there. I know African Americans that look like me, and I look like some African Americans. So there's not that big difference between us, even with the admixture that a lot of African Americans have. You still see Africans that look eerily similar to African Americans.
Master beat the love of Africa out there, brothers. DNA, Lord. I've
never seen
And when did the first Africans get here?
You said never seen an African what?
Look this good. Tell me.
Okay. I mean.
Tell me that
You're trolling, and I don't want to be mean and say some shit about you. I don't want to get into that.
I love Paul's in my name. He just said some weird stuff. Paul,
tell me the African that look like Beyonce.
I mean, Beyonce is mixed. There's a Tyler. Let's say Tyler, right? Who's mixed?
Hold on, one mic. Vovo. Have you seen Beyonce lately?
Yeah, I seen Beyonce.
She's obviously skin bleaching. She wears blonde weave.
Before that.
I mean, come on, man.
Before that.
But you know, Beyonce has admixture, right? A high level of ad. She's not the typical Black American woman.
Take the test. This summer,
I always thought Beyonce was overrated, man.
Black Americans are going to be partying all over America. When you go to a Black American event, you're gonna see every shade. All types of different shades. You're gonna be niggas that's black as Wesley Snipes and almost white passing.
You can pass for Somali.
Bro, y'all know I don't want to show my family picture, but I have two sisters who are very, very light skinned, and I have another sister who's very dark skinned.
Are they come? You a full-blooded African?
Yeah.
Are they full-blooded Africans?
Yes.
Okay, now what tribe are you guys from?
For me, I'm from the Kron tribe, mixed with Bassa from Liberia.
Huh?
Kron. That's the
common in that tribe. Is that common for love?
I mean, it's common in Africa, brother. Have you seen Yoruba people or Igbo people? There are some of them who are very dark and some of them who are very light.
No, I don't see no very light bunch of very light.
Really? Donnie, you seen it, right? You've been to Africa. You seen some light African?
Of course.
Why are you praising your light skinnedness so much? Vovo, why are you so into your light skinnedness?
Into my light skinnedness? I'm dark skinned, baby.
That's what you see.
It's that glow.
I don't know.
Is that African receding hairline Tariq be talking about that got you, Vovo?
No, ain't no receding hairline here.
Yeah, that bad.
What?
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, that headline back.
I just got braids and my hair is pulled back.
Come on, brother.
Oh, hell no.
You wear that hat for a reason. It's not because you love the USA so much.
I wear the hat because I got about 5 of these bitches. What you talking about? We switch these bitches out. What you talking about? You ain't saying, man, what you mean? I don't even wear a hat on a regular basis. I wear it on here when I'm debating. I don't.
Well, you believe in that nonsense that only Africans have receding hairlines?
Who's saying that, bro? What are you talking
about? Tariq says that you have the.
Do you know why he say that?
Nah, go ahead. You can enlighten me.
He says that because when you look at the hairline on a guy, it's the border of the face. You can see the phenotype.
No, your hairline is pushed back.
Your hairline is widely receding, brother.
You push back hairline.
My hairline is not receding, bro.
Well, what are you talking about, bro? Are you kidding me?
I had the same hairline ever since I was.
Your camera's
there. You were born with your hairline in the future, bro. I mean, come on, you got a receding hairline, bro, and it's fine. My hairline starting to recede too a little bit. It's fine.
So what? Me and Adonis got the same hairline.
Nah, that is. I don't know if that is using that Beijing, but that is hairline. If you look at on point, I can't lie on that.
Shit.
If Adonis had braids, Adonis, you got the same oval hairline as me. If you had
Nah, bro, that is got a rectangular hair shape. You got more of an egg hair shape. Your shape is different, bro.
Okay, well,
you don't have a hairline, period.
He says when he says the
Big Mac pause. Relax, bro. Why you going so hard on it?
That's the first place on the head you look, and then you look down. You can see somebody's nose. You can see the shape of their forehead. You can see their ears. You can see the shape of their lips. That's when you look at a face, at a human being's face. That's how you determine. That's the barometer.
Brother, where do you get your wide nose and the
big listen, just because y'all never heard anybody break it down like that don't mean you got to troll it. The hairline is the barometer of the face. It shows your phenotype. That's where you start.
The hairline. I mean, you know how many African Americans are bald, have a receding hairline.
He ain't had no hair on his head ever since he was 21.
Who?
Early. My brother, my blood brother.
Yeah, so but Tariq and the FBAs are saying that that's a telltale sign that somebody's African if they have a receding hairline.
I just told you why he say that. He might joke on y'all because when you look at a human face, the hairline is the barometer. It's the outline. That's why we used to line it up like we still do. We line it up.
I'm gonna be real. The reason why he said because we gotta be real.
Because he got some hair plugs and he's using that Beijing, so he feels good about his hairline now than he was a couple years ago.
Let me be real. I'm just not even trying to. But it's just better black.
Ain't no reason why Tyreek name should be coming up in conversation.
A lot of
hold on, real quick. Let me read this super chat. JC Inc. 499 holla. DNA data, millions faces exposure as 23andMe files bankruptcy. Y'all DNA is about to be sold in the black market. Beyonce is New Orleans Creole. Now, somebody brought up Tariq's hairline. That is all Beijing. You can see the black paint in his hair.
He did right, Ditus.
No,
and he be bragging about his hairline and like he got a real hairline. You got a transplant, bro.
Yeah, they be spraying that shit on with a cardboard.
Let me ask this then, right? He got a transplant, right? Before we spray up rumors, I'm gonna take you as a serious man. Tyreek has been on camera nonstop for the last 20 years. What year did you notice his hairline change?
I would say the last maybe couple years. You could tell.
When they get them transplants, they be looking real spotty and all types of blood. The guy had to wear a hat for like 3-4 months. Like, you know what I'm saying? Before his hair grow in right. So when was his hat phase?
Like I said, he sprays the Beijing all through it. You could just see the paint.
You can't spray no Beijing on no transplant. That shit get infected.
No, maybe not a transplant. Maybe we're exaggerating, but certainly he's using, as the barbers will say, he's using enhancements.
Y'all real easy.
As the barbers will say, he's using enhancement, bro. We're smart enough to understand.
Hey, he got a Steve Harvey, Vovo. Let's be real.
So now he got a Steve Harvey.
I don't know about the transplant, but certainly you can tell at his age.
That lining,
he got jet black hair. Yeah, it's not natural.
Get into his personal business, but I seen a picture of his father. His father got the same hairline.
No, he had a good hairline.
So you go there looking at his father's hairline compared it to his son's hairline, bro? Come on, man.
Vovo, his hairline, he just getting older. He's getting older. Everybody hairline going back and get older. That's all.
So your father has a receding hairline?
No, I don't have a receding hairline.
You have a receding hairline. What are you talking about, bro?
Oh, Lord. Hold your head right.
Your hairline is in a recession.
Your hairline is in a recession. Like we about to go into a recession here, bro.
No, your shit, you got that. Your shit like this, all this missing, and you got the little piece in the middle. It's over with, man.
Brother,
who you talking about?
Brother, your forehead is long as hell, brother.
My hair is pushed back, bro.
Look how long your forehead is.
Go on my tunnel.
Oh man,
you can see me with an afro. You can see me.
I don't know if you're trolling or you're being delusional, bro. It's not the solution, man. That shit is pushed back.
Okay, it's receding. Now, what did that got to do with the point, though? What's my point? What's my hair?
I'm saying it's ridiculous when people make these phenotypical arguments because they think that Africans have certain telltale signs physically that you can tell that they're African. And I think that's BS because there are bald people in Africa, there are bald people amongst African American, there are people with receding hairline all over the world.
I'm gonna be real. It's not that Africans got bad hairlines. It's that like the barbers be probably we got probably better.
All the barbers ain't bad.
Yeah, I never heard of, in Africa, Big Black, we never cared about hairline. I only saw that when I came to the United States. Oh man, don't push my hairline back, bro. We never cared about that. So maybe that's an issue. Maybe a lot of people. I don't know.
Remember Akon hairline was crispy when he was in America, but you could tell when he in Africa because they be pushing this shit back and shit.
Yeah, we don't worry about hairline like that. It's just a different in cultures and appearance that we care.
Literally, admits to going to go buy a hairline. Akon don't look like a Black American.
Man, Akon hairline.
Akon, he sprays his shit too. Akon is
and he literally went to Turkey and got the transplant for sure. He said he admitted himself.
He got that box. He got them box S curl waves. He bought them waves. He got them S curl waves. Look it up. That ain't that he got.
Yeah, he definitely has some perm in there. But I would not compare Akon. I mean,
that's what it is.
They got Africans with impeccable hairlines, bro. And they got African Americans with highly receding hairline like Vovo and others.
I'll give you an African that could pass for Black American.
Who?
Burna Boy.
Somebody said I'm trying my hardest to look like their people. That's just how I look, brother. I have two sisters who, if you've seen them, they look almost African American. I mean mixed, not even African American, but mixed.
Look. Y'all want to look like us, man. We the standard.
Why? It's our DNA, bro.
Bro,
I'm from Liberia. Maybe. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe there's an admixture of African Americans in my family line from Liberia, but I'm not sure.
I think you and Vovo got kind of like the same hairline. When I look at
today is FBA.
Yeah, my hairline started to recede. It wasn't always like that, but shit. Plus, I'm getting fatter, my hair getting bigger, so it probably pushed my hairline back a little bit. We
only deal with what we can prove. We only deal with paperwork. We ain't know none of that. You, like I said before, I can give you my name, and you can take those 2 names on my birth certificate, and you can trace those to 4 names, and so on and so forth. And you can go all the way back to the 1700s.
Can you go back to a plantation?
Yeah, and that's fine. That's when people from Africa started coming here around that time, right?
And
can you go back to the plantation?
I just told you. I'm trying to say it. My surname goes back to a plantation in Rough Edge, Georgia. Rough Edge, Georgia don't exist no more. It's a wooded area now. It's a wooded area. My surname.
But I'm saying, what are you saying? That your family, your ancestors were some of the first slaves brought to America? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying, I don't know. I know that we were slaves for sure, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. So are you saying that your history goes back further than the recorded time in this country?
Maybe you do. I can't prove that.
You can't prove it. So you got to go from that time. So that and then you can argue that it was because of slavery that they came here.
Exactly. That's where we at with it. We can argue in a circle all day, but we can't argue with the undeniable. We can't argue with facts.
The fact here is we don't dispute that African Americans was brought into this country in the 1700s through the slave trade. But your argument is that they were already here and they're Native Americans and they're indigenous to this land, which you can't prove.
Where did the people go from the 1526 slave rebellion? Where did those Africans go from the 1526 slave rebellion? Where they at now?
I don't know who's on the panel that can tell me this. I don't know the information. When did the transatlantic slave trade start?
I mean, it was going
that ain't what I asked.
No, I'm asking a general question.
Right? When the United States was still like under British rule, there was still slavery going. So he's right, slavery.
Where did those 1526?
So slavery was going on in the 1500s, or it started in the 1600s?
In the where did those guys go?
Well, I don't know exactly the 15, but I know I would say maybe like 16. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I think it was the 16. The earliest was like 1670 something.
I think the first slaves in America came from Angola in 1619.
No, 1526 was the first South Carolina. What we know today is South Carolina.
Okay. So give us some history on that. Where did those people come from in the 1500s?
The Spanish brought them over here, and they tried to establish a colony here.
But what country did they come from, brother? That's what we're trying to establish.
Africa. They probably was Africans. More like they was African slaves.
Okay.
Oh, so then that Indian argument, you squashing it.
Y'all, if you would be quiet for like 30 seconds, bro.
Okay, my bad, bro. Go ahead. You like me, bro. I can learn.
All right. So where did they go after they rebelled? Where did they go? They amalgamated with the natives that was here. That's where they went. They didn't go back to Africa. They rebelled against their cap. This is very well documented. 15, 20, 26. San Miguel del Guape. If I'm saying it right, I can't never say Spanish words right, but just Google 1526 slave rebellion.
Well, how do you know? Like
somebody is saying that the first slave was brought in 1513. That seems a bit far fetched. If you had
1526, bro, I'm giving you not what somebody's saying. You talking to Vovo. This is just a random guy in the chat.
But here's the thing too.
No, but if what he's saying is accurate, then that means that there was slave here in the 1500s. So it does, it defeats your point.
Talk about this. You said what?
Vovo, but you got to understand too. When you're talking about amalgamated, you had slaves that, runaway slaves. You've been had like runaway slaves that would run, in the swamps and things like that. But at the same time, a lot of them formed their own organization. Like, we go.
Yeah, but
when some of them kind of went in and went into those tribes, right, and amalgamated. But a lot of people formed their own stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if they amalgamated, that means they reproduced together. They was trading. They was living around each other. All that type of stuff. So now let's fast forward to.
But hold on. But when you said, but you're still leaving out those black people, those runaway slaves that went off into the swamps and everything and formed their stuff away from the Indians too.
Who's leaving them out? Let me go. That's
not amalgamation.
Hey, guys, let me read these super chats. Yoruba Cultural Heritage Network, $2 holla. Thank you. First name BR. Thank you for $5 holla. The first human populations in America is descended from East Asia, and the DNA of all of the oldest American bones only test Native American facts. Jay, $5 holla. Native Australians were the first in America, not FBA. There's doc that goes over the science at the University of Brazil. The Mongoloids killed them. Jay, let me read Dre. Did I read Dre already? Or let's see here. No, let me read Dre. Jay, $5 holla. No, hold on. My bad. Yoruba Cultural Heritage Network, $5 holla. Rotimi is Yoruba and his light-skinned facts. Certain parts of Yoruba land and Enugu, Igbo land has light-skinned people. In Nigeria, bro travel. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, like the Gullah Geechee, right? Like some of the Gullah Geechee were runaway slaves, right? But they didn't, they made trading with some Indians, but they amalgamated amongst themselves. They didn't amalgamate with the Indians. They formed their own, groups and tribes and everything, and they kept their Africans,
Here's my thing. Whether y'all like this or not, if your ass was too dark on this land, your ass was subject for slavery. No matter what your tribe was, no matter whatever you was, no matter what you call yourself or any of that. That's undeniable. Slave catcher. You could be talking, I'm this Indian shit. You too dark. Your ass going up. I'm about to get this $250 off your ass.
Yeah, too
dark. So I just want to double check. You don't buy into the we were Indians narrative, Vovo.
Like I said, we got Native American heritage. That's undeniable.
We have a little bit.
You mean admixture or heritage? Those are two different things.
Some of us, and then some of us.
Is your admixture? It's your heritage.
And then
your lineage. When I'm talking about people that had to have sex for me to be here, not no weird. I was 15% Nigerian, and I did my DNA test. I'm 30% of my heritage go to West Africa. No, here's the thing.
Why are we harping on that little 2% that
in your DNA, in your history, do you have any great grandparents that were fully Indian or Native American?
That's the story. But when I got her paperwork over here, my grandmother said that her mother was full-blooded. Native American tribes don't even deal with DNA. They don't even know. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. They do a blood quantum test if you try to. Yes, they do. They deal with
DNA. Go over there talking about you Indian, you have to take a blood test.
No, you don't. They kicking these guys off the reservations right now, not because they was too dark. You can look this stuff up.
Who they kicking out?
They was too dark. Oh,
I added it on the last time I was here. I added it, but y'all let the guy come up here and start trolling. I have it to where this been going on. They kicking the guys off the reservation right
Well,
now.
you say the guys. Who guys? You mean black people?
Natives, the dark-skinned natives right now are fighting all over the country. It's big lawsuits.
Are those dark-skinned native with long hair or straight hair or black nappy hair like
No
ours?
matter what it is.
No, I mean the hair. The hair is important. That's why I want to know.
I bet they is fight. All you fake Aboriginals trying to go back over to the.
You see some African Americans who got that straight hair, and it looked like they might be mixed with Indians. Maybe those are those people. Maybe they have some admixture, but maybe it's not enough for the natives.
I get that because that'll be a circle conversation.
Vovo.
I'm a Native American. I'm gonna make it undeniable.
Vovo,
my family was in this country before this shit was called America. Now you ain't never gonna be able to take that away from me.
I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
So that was by itself right there. There. You can stop right there. That would make me native. Right there. My family was in America.
Let me ask you.
No, but your people didn't get citizenship until much later, after the country was started. No, it does. It does, Vovo.
No. That's just now you moving to go.
Elvis, let me ask you this question.
Was here.
Vovo, let me ask you this question real quick. Let me just ask you this question. Because you're talking about this native ancestry, right? Do you have more white admixture in you than native?
Listen, no, I ain't got no white admixture. When I pull up these
I doubt that.
When I put up these census records, however these people is, all their race was black on mine. Black or Negro.
No Indian.
Donis, you got some white ancestry, right? And Donis
the majority of Black Americans have. In fact, all Black Americans have some type of white admixture. Take a DNA.
I don't want to say
okay. No, that's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. But they didn't live as white. Ain't nobody in my family lived as white. Everything is black or Negro.
Did they live as Native American?
I was going to ask that same question. You beat me to
bro. Y'all been letting this dude clown off for like the last 2 hours, bro.
Did your family live? Hold on. Stop. We only got 40 likes. Nah, guys, hit the like button. Guys, hit the like button.
Let me go hit it right now.
Man, hit the like button. If you have not hit that like button, hit the like button. We only got 40 likes. Come on, man. Hit the like button.
That's bogus, right?
Now what was the question?
Now, hold on, let me
That's not true, Donis. You got 106 likes. What are you talking about?
Well, that still ain't enough. Hit the like button. Let's see here. Uzman Kane, thank you for the $5 holla. 200 viewers or 40 likes. FBAs must be watching.
Yeah, because they brother here. They know me. They know I come to cook.
But Donis, I wanted to ask you a question, right? Why did you put Boozy in that picture? Does he claim to be Native American?
No, that's like a Boozy meme. Like,
okay.
Add the feather hat. Yeah, whatever. Let me pass it to Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny.
The family. Shout out to the family in Louisiana.
Let me pass it to Johnny. Go ahead, Johnny.
All I'm gonna say is, like, man, bro's been making a lot of claims up here, but nobody's calling him out for none of this information, bro. He's going in circles. He got his talking points, but all that stuff that he's saying has clearly been debunked. Every time you mention being native or whatever, you never can produce no type of actual paperwork that can show that, and everything else is going off anecdotes. And you want to go off anecdotes and trust that more than people that's actually trusting science and actual real documented history and records.
Okay, now let me say this, right? Yeah, that's all we deal with. That's all we deal with as FBA. That's all we deal with. Let's say this, right? Like I just told you.
It's just as good as making some shit up.
I like to hear my family was in this country before 1776.
So what? So was mine. What's your point?
No, they weren't.
How would you know that, bro?
How would you know, right?
How would you know that?
I just told you we could trace our lineage back to the 1700s.
But how do you know
because of word of mouth? Like that? But I can't. You can't.
I got document. Well, bring a doc. You won't even show your face.
Bro, that's not the point. The point is, if I came up with some documents or some proof, I could always point you in that direction. It don't have to do with showing.
What did come up with them then? Yeah, you asking what do we deal with? We deal with documents.
So documents that prove that my family is from America. I got my birth certificate, my parents' birth certificate. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, if you got all that, then yeah, you native. Then you.
So what are you saying, bro? My point is, what's your point?
Man, you just came up here just to talk to Vovo. That's what that
is. You're a clown. I came to call you out for your clown.
Yeah, you just came here to talk to Vovo.
Nah, for you being a clown and nobody's calling
you out. Let's not degenerate, man. We've been told in the fine line because we don't want to get into the
argument. Here's the thing, Vovo.
It's really obvious what he came up here to.
But hold on, Vovo.
Because you being a clown. Nobody else is calling out. So I'm like, man.
I could clown. Everybody know if I wanted to clown, I could clown.
That's what you're doing a good job at.
Hey, Vovo, but here's the thing. You're talking about that one grandmother, right? Hold on, Vovo.
You're not like
You're talking
us.
about that one grandmother that's Indian, right? But what about the other 7? They're black, right?
Yeah, people like to claim 10% of their heritage rather than 95%. 90%.
She went on to live as a Negro. She ate fried chicken, collard greens.
Well, is that the Negro thing that black people do? White people don't eat fried chicken?
Man, you know what I'm saying? No, that's our traditional dish. Now
your great grandfather obviously was black,
just
right?
Everybody like it. That don't mean it ain't ours. Just because everybody like it.
Wait a minute.
You think the black people invent? The black people invent fried chicken, Vovo?
White boy call himself a nigga.
The Indian, your grandmother, your great grandmother.
Now that ain't his culture.
The black people invent fried chicken,
right?
I
She was with a black man, right? Your great grandmother was with a black man.
That's and Dashiki's on.
Hold on, Vovo.
What that
Your
mean?
great grandmother was with a black man, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the other 6 black people in that same time period?
What about
that Indian blood has been withered down to damn near zero, brother.
Yeah, I know y'all gotta keep moving the goalposts, but it
that's
doesn't
not
moving
the
goalposts. Even she went on to live as a Negro. She went on to live as a Negro.
Even if you had a white grandparent 6 generations ago, by the time it comes to you and they've all intermixed with black people, you probably have less than 10% white DNA.
Okay.
Right. So having a great grandparent who was Indian and having all black ancestors after that, you have very little of that DNA left.
Right. Swap cheek guys, huh?
That's what I'm saying. You had very little of that DNA left.
Listen, I got paperwork.
Oh man, I mean that's your grandmother. It's not you. Your grandmother ancestor, your blood admixture is not your admixture.
I wouldn't be here if she ain't have sex with.
So you're proud of that she was Indian? You proud of that?
Well, I mean, yeah, but it really don't matter.
But what about your other ancestors who were fully black African people? Why don't you tout them?
It don't matter either. At the end of the day, when we crossed that Atlantic, when we was on the bottom of that ship, all that African shit went out the window. It wasn't no more. You wasn't a nigger. You better not be talking no African language on this plantation. You better speak this English. Well, catch you talking that. You ain't
people kept their languages, bro. They spoke in codes. They still spoke it on the ground.
Hey, everybody trying to decipher our code.
Seriously, like
this rap music y'all like, that's Black American code. I can sit in front of a white guy. I can sit in front of you as an African and have a conversation with one of my niggas from the hood, and you wouldn't know what we was talking about. You can only understand certain words.
I mean, come on, bro. Africans live in the hood and they adapt to the culture, they adapt to the lingo. You're not speaking a foreign language to them. They can catch most things that you say.
What are you understanding from the Indians? What are you understanding from the Indians?
What?
If you hold on to that little Indian blood, what do you understand from the Indians when they talk?
How many Indian words you know? All that shit too. If I catch you talking that Indian language on this plantation, I'll kill your ass, boy.
So that's why you don't know this shit, bro.
You better talk this English around here. That's our story.
That's your story. That you got subjugated to speaking English.
These people stripped us up.
Dude's a clown, man.
You just hurt, bro. You hurt. Bro, you hurt.
For what, bro?
Bro, because you grieving. You going through a grieving process.
So you proud?
Grieving you being a Native American? I'm grieving some clown that's got all these descendants, and he's only trying to claim one that's potential that might not even be there.
Who's claiming one?
Bro, you clearly ain't. Here you go with this shit, man.
Yeah,
what does that say?
Look, this we talk about all 3 groups. Dark skinned groups. These were the black people. These all 3 groups. I told you.
What's the big star for?
Where's the white star?
Indians.
Where's the European star?
It ain't no European star.
What are the 3 groups? The white, the Indians, and the black?
Classified as black.
Right.
What were the 3 groups?
On there?
The dark-skinned natives, the Moors explorers, and the Africans. Yeah, the Africans. Let me get it. The Africans.
They talk about the Indians, what your grandmother was.
No, let me speak up, Big Black, please.
That's what y'all want to hear. But that still don't allow you to attach yourself to us. Because
who was us?
Enslaved,
but why do you think we're attaching ourselves to you, brother?
Us, bro? No.
Y'all was over there in the bush.
Who you say about us? By Black Americans?
Y'all was doing whatever Igbo shit, Yoruba, Ashani, y'all was doing whatever that shit was. We was on the plantation, getting our backs whipped, fighting for freedom, fighting for justice. Y'all wasn't here for that. Y'all
bro, the problem with that is,
we get that, brother. We get it.
Well,
That's the
then that
Yeah,
makes
problem.
us different.
we agree. There are African Americans who has been in this country for centuries, who went through the horrific slave trade. Those things we can agree on 100%.
What's the
What
argument?
I,
What we
what
arguing
Bro,
I'm
the
about?
seeking
argument
is
is
the
you trying to
fact
come
that
with
you are
like an
claiming to
elitist
be
attitude
Indians,
and shit and act like you something
and you have
different.
very
That's
little
where the argument
DNA
comes from.
to butcher
Different.
that claim. That's my
Is
point.
you and is you and Myron Gaines the same?
Don't
Is,
don't
is,
ever.
is
That's the worst shit you ever said to me, bro. You
well,
better
no.
be cool.
Listen, I better be cool. What are you gonna do? Like
You guys need to chill out. We've been trying to avoid it. Let's not do that,
I'm not
man.
gonna
We
do it,
getting
bro.
away
I'm not
from
gonna
that
do it. But that's
fighting.
the crazy ass
he
shit you
came
say
up
some
there for that.
stupid
What you
shit
gonna
like
do?
that.
Beat me up?
I'm not gonna beat you up, bro.
Well, then, what do you mean? I better
You're
be
all right.
cool.
You can keep your lunch money.
Oh man, come on, bro. Let's not do that shit, man.
What he say? I didn't hear him.
But anyway, bro,
Hey,
when you come up with different
for
type
real
of
though.
elitism,
So,
We
that's where the
different.
problem comes
We
from.
why does
different. That's your inferiority complex.
Let me ask
Inferiority
you.
from what, bro?
Elite
That's you.
You feel like we elite. That's where you and I mean,
Bro, you literally are trying to name
we
off
don't gotta
African
be
American
elite.
accomplishments over the black diaspora. That's called elitism.
What diaspora? I'm not a part of no diaspora.
You don't have to claim to be part of it, dumbass.
I'm
If you
not
said you
a
come from
part of it.
Africa, that's part of the
Oh,
diaspora.
come on, bro.
Whether you
That
want
is
to accept
let's
it
not
or not.
degenerate, man. That's
Hey,
why
let's stop cussing at you. You know, calling.
Yeah, he upset. You taking it hard. You just breathing.
I'm
But
laughing at
Bobo,
you
I
because
want to
you're
know your
a
point
clown,
because
bro.
we talked to the other guy. I forgot his name. Whatever his name was claiming to be black Indians or whatever. I want to know what your point is. You're not claiming to be an Indian. You're just claiming that your family was here at the very foundation of this country. So that make you more of an FBA, in terms of ideology rather than just calling yourself an American Indian. What's your point?
My point is that the people that's descendant of slaves here are unique and different from anybody else on the planet. The same way, like a Jamaican. The Jamaican story is not the same story as a Haitian story. The Haitian story is not the same story as the Nigerian story. The Nigerian story is not the same story as a Puerto Rican story, and so on and so forth. This what we saying. You can be as black as you want to be, blackity black, 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 black. But you're not a foundational black American. Now that's not arguing.
Okay, Vovo, let me say this.
I agree with that point.
That's not the problem.
So
bro.
what's
The
your
problem
take
is
on the
you
Indian
take it further
part?
than that.
I get all of that part. The Indian part is the part that I have a problem with.
Let's speak one at a time, y'all. Let's speak one at a
Bro,
time.
nobody said they was
Better
gonna
when we
do nothing
speak one
to
at a
you.
time. Let me just ask Vovo this.
Read it again,
Vovo,
bro. Nobody
Vovo,
said they
let's
was gonna
speak
do
one at
nothing
a
to you.
time. Let me just ask Vovo this.
Clown.
Here's the thing, Vovo. Here's why I don't like that flag, right? Because it's a mix, right? You say it's the Aboriginals, right? It's the Black Americans and it's the Moors. But we know when we talk about this Aboriginal is a code word for Indian, right? And it's talking about that Indian mixture. Okay, if you wanna claim that Indian mixture, why isn't there a fourth star for the white people?
I just told you, white.
There's some of us that got a white mixture in us. It's a
white,
BS flag.
white. The white.
What about the mulattoes? What about the half blacks? What about the people with mixed blood?
Yeah, they with us.
They get a star?
So should have another star. The foundation is faulty.
I'm gonna let me know when you're ready for me to go. You asked a question.
Yeah, Big Black, you gotta give him a chance to speak. I want to learn from him, man. I'm in my learning spirit right now. I want to learn.
I'm just saying the foundation of that whole foundational black.
Bro, let him talk, man.
It's just faulty, and it's
Big Black, let him speak. Go ahead, Vovo.
No, he might not be done. Go ahead and
yeah, I'm not doing. I just want to say I'm gonna just end it like this. Right? But hold on, I'm gonna just end it like this. Hold on. So the whole thing with that we were more
just sidebar.
You
is Big Black. You got a fat voice, just for the record. But go ahead.
Oh man,
I got a damn. That's pause.
Pause about that. I don't play the pause game, but go ahead.
All right, but basically what I'm just trying to say is that the whole, Indian, the Moor, and the black thing. When a lot of us don't have Indian in us, why are we claiming that when a lot of us don't have Indian in us? And some of us, if that's the case, there should be another star. It's BS, sir. And see, then when you get mad when the Abos that say they don't have no African mixture, that they were always from here, when they try to sneak into your club and grab the flag. Why do you get mad then? That's what I said. The whole FBA thing is the history. The whole ideology is bad because the foundation is bad, brother. And that's why it's not going to take flight.
Go ahead. I've been having these conversations.
That's it, brother.
I've been having these conversations with them too. They more sillier than y'all. They more still was Abos, Ebo. How you say them? Abos. I'm with the Negroes. I'm different.
You gotta look at the common denominator.
But they more sillier than y'all. I've been having conversations with them for years. I know what their problem is. They don't know who they is the same way y'all don't know who they is. Them guys, a lot of them guys are like foster kids and shit like that. I hate to say that. I hate to say no, seriously though. They don't know who the slave trade happened in reverse and all types of just goofy nonsense. They more sillier than the panties.
But they trying to overtake your group.
Yeah, like the dude came here and said America was Egypt or some shit like that the other day.
Yeah, this goofy shit. They if you have they got me too because I'm like, who is these black people that's talking about we did that they these dark skinned Indians and they super. I'm like, what reservation? I'm like studying. Then I realized after I talked to them for like the 2 months, I'm like, oh, all these niggas dumb. That's dumb. I'm like, oh, they dumb. They just as dumb as a Pan African. Like,
really?
Guys, we got to close out. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, search for Haru, please.
Clown.